The SACP has confirmed that a cabinet reshuffle is on the cards. The Communist Party said it decided to go public with the information because its confidentiality had already been breached. The tripartite alliance partners said it had been informed that President Jacob Zuma would drop Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan and his deputy Mcebisi Jonas from the executive. The SACP said an intelligence report alleging that Gordhan planned to meet regime change agents in the UK and the US was part of the reason for this impending recall. The SACP said it had not yet taken a decision to withdraw its members from government and cabinet. It further warned of the dire economic consequences seen when Nhlanhla Nene was fired as the finance minister.
On the motives for doing the reshuffle, obviously, we can only speculate. The reason given, we don't accept. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to really know what was happening. All of these things have been put in public. For instance, when Brian Molefe was sent to Parliament, as another critical factor, we knew officially that Brian was going to go to Parliament through the Northwest Province as an alliance partner. And we did not even disclose it, despite that we did not agree with it. Largely because we felt that that thing was going to disrupt the President's State of the Nation address.
Well, joining us on the phone line is the ANC Youth League Secretary General, Mr. Njabula Nzuza, joining us on the phone line. Njabula, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Well, the SACP has laid it all on the table with regards to the stand on the cabinet reshuffle and Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan being recalled. Just talk us through your reaction with regards to what transpired at the briefing this afternoon.
Well, we are actually very disappointed at the behavior of the South African Communist Party. These are the people who were held in high regard as people who provide revolutionary theory and clarity to the movement. But now we see an SACP that is too entangled on issues of positions within the organization on who becomes who. This has been a trend for quite a while now, because they've been consistently having a lot of interest on who leads the ANC, whereas no one has heard from the ANC interest on who leads the Communist Party. The Communist Party has become nothing except a vehicle that people use to ascend to power and use it to bargain with the African National Congress. What they are doing is trying to hamstring the president from taking any action that he has to take. The SACP is not the spokesperson of government, they are not the spokesperson of the ANC, and as such on issues that involve government, they really should not be taken serious. They are supposed to be assisting this country with revolutionary theory and practice on how we actually reach a state of socialism. When was the last time the SACP spoke about revolutionary theory? They don't talk about those things anymore. They've forgotten what they exist for.
Now, the SACP has actually come out praising Pravin Gordhan for his work and in his current term. What do you make of this? Do you think that this is much needed appreciation towards the minister with regards to his work so far?
The problem is that you have communists who are now hell-bent on protecting capital. They are also part of the bigger scheme of things of protecting banks that have been abusing our financial system, and they want to keep those institutions in place. Now they are coming out supporting certain leaders and not supporting certain leaders of the ANC. You really expect a high level of political consciousness and a high level of political discipline from people of the Communist Party. The Communist Party is supposed to be a reservoir of knowledge for the organization. What they are just doing, the current leadership of the party, is just tarnishing the name of the party and making it an organization that is very petty, that deals with issues of leadership, which positions. And the interest of the party, I must say, is to protect certain ministers who are appointed rather than actually pursuing the agenda. Where have you seen communists being against the issue of free education, busy protecting the minister? Where have you seen communists doing those things? We don't have communists in South Africa anymore.
Now, what do you make of the reasons cited by the SACP with regard to the removal of Pravin Gordhan, if it does indeed happen? Do you think that it's okay for the country to actually be dependent on one person to affect the current economy of the country?
There is not even a single person who can affect the economy of the country. The problem is that you have banks who have been playing around with our currency and manipulating our currency and colluding to manipulate our currency. Because they are not being held accountable, they now think that they have the right to decide who must hold them accountable. That is what this thing is about. It's about banks saying we will protect Pravin Gordhan because Pravin Gordhan protects us. If you want to try and remove Pravin Gordhan and put someone who's going to hold us accountable, let us go and continue and collude to collapse the rand.
Well, Mr. Nzuza, thank you so much for speaking to us, and thank you so much for your time. ANC Youth League Secretary General, Mr. Njabula Nzuza, just unpacking more details and his reaction towards the SACP press briefing, which was held this afternoon.
It should not surprise us at all. We have to bear in mind that for some time now, the SACP has had a posture of wanting to co-govern, not only with the ANC, but also to co-run the country with the president. And therefore, this just confirms that long-held belief that some of us have had. We have to bear in mind that in Parliament, the SACP has got its own caucus, yet it has never been on any ballot paper. In the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress, the SACP has got its own NEC, as well as having its own cabinet. They have somewhere between 9 and 11 members of cabinet who are in cabinet as SACP people. So clearly, this was bound to create problems.